Hello, guys. Welcome back to Never Tell Me the Odds. I'm your host, Justin, and before we get into this video, I want to say sorry for not uploading in a decently amount of time. As you can see, there's no webcam today. There will be a webcam tomorrow when I do previews for Set 5, but about 2 weeks ago, I got in a pretty bad car accident, and I haven't been able to go to my locals or record anything. Been extremely busy with school as well as finals just came up, so everything just went hard on to me at once, and I was unable to continue YouTube. But with me not starting school again till September, or sorry, late August, I should be able to get back to recording videos and uploading them. Again, I'm not sure how many times I'll be going to locals, but my store showdown is this weekend, so there will be videos on that. And this video will be the deck tech of the deck I plan on taking. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. We're taking Data Vault Luke Skywalker. Um, so first off, why Luke Skywalker? Luke Skywalker was the first character I've ever played in this game. He will always have that special place in my heart. Specifically, Blue Vigilance Luke will always have that place in my heart. The shields and the for extra cost is really nice. Him coming out on turn 6 and giving shields to people when you attack with him, also very nice. There's a bunch of combos that you can do with this deck. Now, Data Vault. Why Data Vault with Luke? I feel like Luke has a huge uh, versatile options with Data Vault, right? 10 extra cards isn't too bad for Luke because his abilities is okay with it, right? You're okay with just giving extra shields, whatever. Um, but again, Data Vault Luke is just something that intrigued me at the very beginning of the set. I know some people are doing real well with it, and we're just gonna go over the list that I made before the before the showdown. Um, so I know that some of the stuff is blocked, but I'll go over numbers real quick. We have 3 Alliance Dispatchers, 2 Battlefield Marines, 3 Heras, 3 Luke Skywalkers, I'm still here, 3 Restored Arcs, 2 Luke Lightsabers, um, 3 Blue Leaders, 3 Concord Dawn Interceptors, 2 Techs, 3 Village Protectors, 3 Yodas, 3 Resupplies, 3 Perilous Positions, 3 Bright Hopes, 2 Fells, 2 Takedowns, 2 Chewbacca's, 2 Obi-Wan Kenobis, 2 Rivals Falls, 3 Legendary Lukes, 3 Ewing Reinforcements, 3 Home Ones, and 2 Redemptions. In our sideboard, we have 2 Covering the Wings, 2 Regional Governors, a Takedown, a Fell, and 2 Vigilances. So this deck is really interesting because initially I wasn't running the techs, but after long and hard consideration, I figured tech would be more important. I'm still debating on taking down a either Home One and Concord Dawn to put in Canaans, because Canaans also do really well, especially if Hera's your turn 1 play, turn 2 resupply, turn 3 Kanan with shield. Again, Kanan is something I've been considering. I think I cut him for now. I am debating on throwing him back in and just putting the 2 ships into the sideboard, as we do have room for stuff in the sideboard. But this deck is very solid. I took it to my locals before the incident, and it worked very well. I went 3-0, and then the week after, I also went 3-0. Now we're gonna go into some combos, some bread and butters with this, and then we'll come back for an overall thing. Right. So your bread and butters, your turn ones. The most optimal turn 1 is getting Alliance Dispatcher and throwing a shield on it. Why? Well, then you can do it into Yoda and give it a shield, or do it in the blue leader, and after you play blue leader, you can give that a shield, right? You can basically play a 3-turn thing and give it a shield. The green lines are with Alliance Dispatcher, blue lines are for shields. Or you can play Bright Hope, which, even then, if like they attack an Alliance Dispatcher, he loses a shield, play Bright Hope, bounce it back to your hand, draw a card. Doesn't seem too bad, because there's a Sentinel in the ship area, which is really nice. You could also just resupply. I don't run resupplies in majority of my decks. Luke is the exception. I feel like Luke and resupply, you just get a real advantage that you don't get with many other things, like Obi-Wan, for instance, right? If I ran Obi-Wan green or Anakin green, or Leia, I feel like resupply is more of a hindrance, where in Luke, I feel like you could resupply well and still be fine. Again, these are your basic bread and butters. Alliance Dispatcher is huge as the best turn 1 play in this deck. Next up, we have the other turn 1s. So, again, the white lines is just what you play. I think besides Alliance Dispatcher, I want Battlefield Marines or Restored Arcs. Hera and Luke are fine for turn 1 plays. They're not what I want, though. Let me explain why. The reason is, sure, you can play, say you play Luke turn 1. You can just swing into base, turn 2 resupply, then turn 3 you drop the Bright Hope, hopefully pick up Luke, so that you could draw the card. Because you want to play Luke as the pilot. You don't want him on the ground as your turn 1 play, because it's just the worst Battlefield Marine. It's weird that I have 3 Lukes and 2 Battlefield Marines, is what people might say, but I think the piloting skill of Luke is significantly better. Hera, I can get behind playing her as a turn 1. She's a 2/3 with Restore 1. It's basically Queel, except for the discard card. But, or it's basically a ground version of Restored Arc. But, if I play those, I want Bright Hope to pick them up to draw that additional card, because it's a +2 in hand size. If you're going up against those decks that kill hand size, I noticed that this deck could be very good into that. But the Luke Skywalker combo with Bright Hope of when he dies, go to the ground, play a Bright Hope, pick him back up, draw a card, then put him on a ship is really neat, because you can swing in, pick him back up, put him on a ship, and then swing in for more. But this is other turn 1 combos. Again, resupply is huge. I'm noticing that if I don't have resupply, it's a lot harder. And maybe that's just because my end game is so good in this deck. But again, if you resupply turn on 3 resources, you can then play the Bright Hope, pick up your pilot, put a shield on the Bright Hope, and you get to draw a card. It's huge. It's huge. Especially with jump to light speed on how everything needs ships. It's huge. So those are what we have for turn 1s. If you resupply and do this correctly, you can play Luke out on turn 5, right? So you can play Luke on turn 5 on 5 resources, right? You could, I play more control-y, all right? I like controlling other people's boards and swinging in. So say you're on 5 resources, you resupply, then you pull out Luke, and then you could swing in and kill something, then play Luke's lightsaber, heal him, and give him a shield. Or if you don't have Luke's lightsaber, again, just play a 2-cost unit, right? 2-cost units are still good. But, this is why we run Luke's lightsaber. It makes Luke a 7/8 with a shield that gives shields. Luke's lightsaber is huge, right? But, again, the turn 5 deploy is something I was actually hitting a lot. I was seeing those resupplies a lot. I was debating on putting Spark of Hope in here, but I'm like, I don't think that would really work in this type of deck. There's some sort of construction going outside. That's interesting. But again, resupply is huge in this deck. But you give a shield to anything. The Luke's lightsabers are huge. And question I get is why Luke over Jedi lightsaber? You're running 7 different Lukes, right? You're running the leader, you're running 3 of the legendary, you're running 3 of the pilot. I'm assuming we're going to get more Luke's next set, and that means Luke's lightsaber is going to get better. I'm just saying Luke's lightsaber is something worth thinking about in this Luke deck. But turn 5 deploy is also huge because then you can kind of get ahead. Or if your opponent was running like a 5 deploy leader or Han, you could just pull him out, put a lightsaber on him, and kill Han. That's massive. But then there's also the turn 6 deploy. What do you want? You'll deploy Luke. If you still have Alliance Dispatcher out, you can drop the other Luke as well. Or you can play Obi-Wan and give him a shield when you attack, or you could deploy with Alliance Dispatcher, get the other Luke, and give Obi-Wan or give Luke a shield when he attacks. Or you can Alliance Dispatcher with Obi-Wan, give him a shield, then drop Luke, and then give Obi-Wan a second shield. It depends on how you want to do things, right? Turn 6 is where you need to stabilize, and you need to get a big board, right? You need a wider board. Unless, of course, you were going against a blue villainy deck with, super laser blast. Unless you're going up against that, you really don't. Unless you're going up against that, you want to go high, you want to go tall, compared to wide, because wide will just get rid of you. But that's an exception for one deck. Every other deck, you typically want to go wide when you get to 6 resources. And again, 6 resources, when Nuke deploys, is arguably its hardest turn. With everything that you could do as Luke. For endgame drops, we have the Redemption. Again, we have that at 2 of, Home 1 at 3 of, and 3 U-Wing Reinforcements. U-Wing Reinforcements is huge in this deck. I almost never resource it unless I have 2 in hand and I have a tech below. And why is that? It lets me play stuff. It lets me cycle through my deck, so I know what I've seen, and then again, you're running a 60 card deck instead of a 50. So using the U-Wing Reinforcements and searching and looking through your deck is really huge. Also, if you don't have a Luke, you can U-Wing just into a Luke, right? If you're lucky. I also will say my luck has been bad with U-Wing Reinforcement. Whenever I do it, I see 3 home 1s and a redemption, and I'll do it again, and I'm redemption, and then all my high end, and I'm all my removal. I'm just okay, that's great. But again, U-Wing Reinforcement is huge. Out of all these endgame drops, it's the one I want to play the most. After that is actually home 1. Because you can cheat it out on 7 resources as well, and just getting the restore is huge. But also playing a sentinel on the ground or in the ships or in space is huge. Of course, my boy, the 6/9 Redemption, is massive as well. But I honestly it's weird. I kind of want to say home 1 for even later drop. After you wipe my board, if you're blue, or after all this happens, save it for a later drop on 12 resources, drop home 1 and drop another Luke, right? Which just makes sense to me. But again, if I had to rank these in which I would prioritize holding on to, it's U-Wing Reinforcement, then home 1, then Redemption. So right to left. Redemption is still really good. It allows you to heal a unit or a base, and that's still incredibly good. It's just, and it's a Sentinel, right? It's a 6/9 Sentinel, which is what I mainly used it for, is the big Sentinel. It's massive. It's just not always what I'm looking for. Because typically, which we're about to go into more combos, typically I'll throw Chewbacca on Bright Hope, and that gets the job done. So we're looking at these neat combos, right? So again, turn 1 you can Alliance Dispatcher, then turn 2 drop the Bright Hope. You could pick them up. You don't have to if they're not attacking into them. And then the next turn after, you're on 4 resources. You could drop on the Chewbacca, and no one's getting through that, right? You have to actually deal damage to that. The only thing that can beat that is no glory, only results. If they play Power of the Dark Side, just choose that. That thing doesn't die. If they try takedowning or fell, won't work. Um, but also, like, we mentioned the Luke at the very beginning of the game, right? The turn 2 Luke, again, he's not the worst turn 1 play. He's not the greatest either. You could turn 1 Luke, then Luke lightsaber onto him and drop like an Alliance Dispatcher, and then swing in for 6. Right? That's a 6/3 that's shielded. Um, like, this Luke is really good. Or, like, if your ship dies, if you want to put him on, like, a Sentinel, which is something else I do, is, like, put him on a Concord Dawn, and make that Concord Dawn swing it for 4, and then deal 6 back, which is nasty. But put him on a Concord Dawn, whenever that Concord Dawn dies, he drops to the ground, and I can just put a Luke lightsaber on him. I initially wasn't running Tech. In Tech's place, I had Kanan, and Kanan was really, really solid with the Mill 2. Um, it's something I'm actually debating on putting back in, or like figuring out a way to put him back in. Maybe like dropping a Home 1 and a Concord Dawn, um, which sounds weird with this ship meta. But again, it's this guy's really, really strong, right? Tech is very strong, because he smuggles and then he can smuggle out other things. And with Luke, what I found was like, yeah, hey, I get to ramp a lot and I get to go high, and then or I get to go wide and then high, and then I get to go above you and better than you. So I think Tech being into resources is huge. Um, we got removal. Again, I'm a blue player. I like removal. I used to play blue yellow, as you guys know. I was debating on putting strike trues in here, but I don't think you need them. I think you have enough removal with takedown, fell, and rivals fall. Not to mention we are running peerless position. Um, I get the most value out of the rivals, which sounds weird. Um, because like I always manage to have the rivals when the leader deploys, right? When my opponent's leader deploys, I always manage to have it. The fell is nice, especially into those games where like they have a bunch of ship upgrades and it's just annoying to deal with. Takedown's also good, but it's not. If I had to remove one of them, it's the takedown, which sounds weird. Like maybe testing the strike trues instead of takedowns, because takedown says 5 damage. Is there stuff that deals more than 5? Yes. Like, or 5 or equal? Yes. So, and it costs 3, so it might be something worth adding or thinking about is strike trues, but it's also like very unique, defined. um Lastly is our sideboard. I'm testing covering the wing. I haven't like tested it yet, but I'm trying to test it, see how it works. It's 2 resources, create an X-wing and a shield on a token, or a shield on a unit you control, which seems good. Um, of course, I have vigilance. As you can see, vigilance is bigger than the rest because vigilance is the heals. Like it's heal and mill, or heal and give a shield, or heal and like defeat a unit. That's huge, right? I'm fine with playing Vigilance for 6. Vigilance for 6 is good. I was actually debating on mainboarding it, but I ended up cutting it and moving it to the sideboard. And then we have more control, right? Again, everything on here is a 2 of except for Takedown and Fell. Regional Governor is good for the control decks. I would use a Regional Governor up against a deck that uses Super Laser Blast. Like, full well knowing, just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to call Super Laser Blast, so you can't wipe my board. Again, another Fell and Takedown. It's the basics. Um, but as the deck tech for Data Vault Luke, uh, again, this is something I'll be testing and I'll be taking to my store showdown this weekend, and we'll have footage of it for you guys after this weekend. I'll upload that. Again, I want to apologize for not uploading anything recently. Um, Tomorrow we'll be going over previews. I'm just waiting for that second new leader to drop, so I can do those in one day. And then we'll be back to the Tuesday, Thursday previews, and then probably Wednesday will be like some sort of deck tech video. I'm really liking these, but I don't want to be like everyone else. And then we'll get at least gameplay when I have gameplay, because I don't have a card anymore. We'll get gameplay when I have gameplay. So, yep, I just want to say again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, share this with everyone around. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.